Yo, 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 yo. What's going on, man? Today's November 18th, 2022. Appreciate you guys for coming through. Another edition of ChrisBeCappinn NBA show. Let's get right into it, man. Quick rundown. We took the two-team money line parlay last night in cash. Feel good to kind of get a win underneath a belt as far as not, playing something live, man. The NBA has been wacky. It's been crazy. So feels good to get back on the winning ways, man. I'm shout out to everyone who cashed out. We got a long way to go. A lot of picks to make up for. A lot of good money for sure too. Um, let's get into it. We got a lot of games. I'm not breaking down all these games. There's way too many. The show will be too long. But I'll break down the ones that where I got some action and tell you guys what I'm looking at and why I'm liking what I'm liking. I think I got let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm liking about 7 things on the card right now. And I haven't placed all of them yet. We're still waiting on official injury news in some of these games, which is continues to be frustrating, the manipulation of the injury report. But let's get into it, man. Let's just jump straight into it. Appreciate you guys for watching over on the YouTube channel as well, as always. What up, Uncut Gems? Sean C said, what up, man? Appreciate you guys for being here. D'Angelo say, what's good, Chris? Can't believe Dame sold my two-legger last night. Shot 8 for 24, and I lost on a Royce O'Neal tip-in. Shaking my head. Yeah, man. I talked about the Brooklyn Nets, coming back with something. They gave up 153 points, and you typically don't want to play the team. I talked about, yesterday I told you guys, teams that lose after giving up 153 points or lose by 30, they're 6-1 against the spread in the next game. So when you get embarrassed, you got to come back with something, bro. I know, Portland was, good. I told you guys earlier, I'm not fading any more teams that lose by 30. You lose by 30 and you got a good matchup against another team the next night, I'll just sit it out or I'll take the other team, in an ugly spot to cover. So it don't surprise me that Brooklyn came with something. I know, we were hype on Jeremy Grant yesterday. I didn't play it, but I talked about Jeremy Grant going over his player prop. And I shot Finesse out earlier in on the morning show, but he talked about Jeremy Grant having to take on that matchup of trying to guard KD, which probably takes away from his offense. And you saw it did. It definitely did last night. Dude finished with 5 points. So you kind of just expect some defense to be played in a situation like that. But that's how I go. NBA can be a dirty, dirty place sometimes, man. It can be a dirty place for sure. But let's talk about the games today, man. Like I said, I'll go through a couple of them, but I really want to keep the show open to everybody else so you guys can share your looks as well. First game up, let's get straight into it. Let's go to this Heat and Wizards game. So I really don't have anything official in this game. I broke it down earlier on the morning show. The Heat are very shorthanded without Tyler Hero, without Jimmy Butler, who's also listed as out. You could have got the Wizards +1, and now that line is shifted all the way to, I think it's -6 is the last thing I saw. And it might be, we got breaking news just now that Jimmy Butler's gonna miss like 3 games in a row. So it's not even just a today thing. It's more than that. Yeah, but the line's up to 6. I see some 6.5s. Total's extremely low, 215.5. Books are expecting the Wizards to win by 6 and the game to be a low scoring game, which I would tend to like as well. I don't think Washington's gonna be. They're gonna be. I mean, they got a playmaker. The Miami's, they got a playmaker and Kyle Lowry, but they're missing a lot when you talk about offensive firepower of all of those guys. So nothing official for me in this one. Porzingis should be able to have his way in that game. I'm thinking Bradley Beal points. I think we're sitting at like 20.5. That could be looked at as a tad bit too low. Don't really want to back Washington, especially as a favorite. I looked at the Washington Wizards as a home favorite of 6 points or more earlier. They're like 0-5 in the last 2 years. So when they get these big, this for them, this is a big spread because the Wizards aren't typically laying 6 points. They typically don't cover in those spots. Like I said, 0-5, 0-6. I can't remember exactly what that number was, but it's the only way you would be able to look with, a depleted Miami team. Miami's going to come with something for sure, though. They're not going to lay down. They're not going to roll over, but they should be outmatched in this one. So nothing official for me on this one. Moving along, let's go to this Bucks and the 76ers game. Spread opened at Philly laying 2, which I don't agree with. It's now down to a pick. I like Milwaukee in this game. I haven't placed the bet yet. You get them coming off 1 day's rest. They got the home win against the shorthanded Cavaliers team. Don't know if Drew Holiday's in or not, but that does affect this game tremendously. Philly, they haven't played a game since Sunday. And sometimes we talk about that rest versus rust factor. I think this is a spot where they could be rusty, especially early in this game. We see Philly, get out the slow start, especially when they're at home. Last year, Philly covered a lot more home spread. Damn, I don't got the mic on. Last year, Philly covered a lot more home spreads, a lot more road spreads, I'm sorry, than they did home spreads. And they typically come out slow at home. Lately, they've been hanging their heads on the defense. On the defensive end, they have the number one rated defensive efficiency rating over the last 5 games. They're playing at a slow pace. We know Glenn likes to, walk the ball up the court, throw it down to Embiid, and Embiid kick it back out, and they throw it back to Embiid. He go one-on-one with about 6 seconds left in the shot clock. Not a lot of movement. Then you also got Tobias that's, on the injury list as well. Got downgraded to questionable earlier, so it's going to be interesting to see if he plays as well. I was looking at, the Bucks early in this one. So not an official play, but I do think if they get Drew back, I'll take a more interesting dive into this one. You get the Bucks, they're 8-5 ATS in the first half. Excuse me, 8-5 in the first half ATS wise. Like I talked about Philly being a little rusty. I think that happens because they haven't played since Sunday when they got the win against Utah, and B had like 150 points. The Sixers, they're only 6-8 ATS in the first half, 3-5 ATS in the first half at home. So I like the Sixers in this spot. I'm sorry. I like Milwaukee in this spot, and if I played it, it'd probably be first half. I like Milwaukee for game 2, but I'm probably gonna lay off the spreads, man. I just need to get more data before I feel confident backing these teams, no matter what the numbers are, no matter what the history is, because we've seen that happen over and over again where we're doing the process right, but it comes out the wrong way. So I'm probably not gonna end up playing anything official, but that's my looks for you guys. Hopefully that helps you just a tad bit. Like I said, Philly is rated 5th best defensive team, and the total in this one has come all the way down. I like the under. It was 218. Now it's all the way down to 211.5. So even more money coming in on the under. And honestly, I think 211 might be a tad bit too low. I do expect it to be a playoff type feel in this game. I think some unders gonna cash. I know people don't like playing them, but if I was looking at this game, I'd be looking at some unders for sure. Some of these lines probably a tad bit inflated for sure too. 2 really good defensive teams. The Bucks ranked 13th, and I talked about Philly being ranked number 1 over the last 5 games too. So nothing official for me in that one. Moving along, the Hornets and the Cavs. This is a game that I talked about yesterday. I talked about it on the morning show this morning, and still haven't played anything officially. The Cavs, they come in on a 5-game losing streak and in desperate need of a win. Charlotte going to be shorthanded today, even though Gordon Hayward did get listed. He got upgraded from out yesterday to questionable today. Jared Allen's also listed as questionable. I haven't seen his official status, and Dean Wade is listed as doubtful. LaMelo already been ruled out. He stepped on a fan's foot and rolled his ankle. Tough break for him. And you see that this spread, right? The spread, when you see a spread of 7.5, 8.5, 9.5, that's indicative of a blowout. So if you take the Cavs, you need them to win by margin in this one, which I think that they probably do. I talked about this just a tad bit, read a long article from one of their beat writers, and he was pretty much saying that, this Cavs team, they went from junkyard dogs to, I forgot what term he used, but like something soft, like something real soft. I don't know exactly what it was. It was like a fluffy cat or something. But they had a team meeting afterwards and had a heart-to-heart with the coaches being involved. And I think they really come out here and lay it on this Hornets team today. I think they actually absolutely smack them up first quarter, first half. I'll probably stay away from the full game just because of the backdoor cover, but it does feel like a Cavs spot first quarter, first half. And I think they do it with defense. I'd be looking at the Hornets team total under probably first half as well. I think that, they make it extremely difficult for these guys today. And they actually pick it up a lot on the defensive end. If I was going to play that, I would want Jared Allen to be a part. I went back and watched that game the other day against the Bucks. They look horrific on the defensive end. Just not like bad rotations. They don't know whether they're supposed to go over or under on the screens. Evan Mobley, when you bring him outside of the paint, he turns into barbecue chicken. And they had him guarding Brook Lopez, who shot and made 7 threes, but shot a lot of other threes too. And it's the defensive guys too. Like, it's the Isaac Okuros, the Lance Stevenson, those guys not even playing good defense. So nothing official for me on that one. But if I was gonna make a play, it would be Hornets team total under, probably first half. Cavs team Cavs first quarter or first half spread in that one, as long as the number isn't bigger than like 3.5. So that's what I got in that one. This Magic and Bulls game, I talked about this game early on the morning show as well. The Bulls, you pretty much need the Bulls to do the same thing you need the Cavs to do. The problem is the Bulls been looking like trash recently. They've lost 3 games in a row. This Magic team, you don't really want to back them. First road game in 2 weeks. They have played 6 straight home games, coming off a loss of their own, where they got smacked up by the Timberwolves the other day. Paolo is already ruled out. Patrick Williams said he was going to play. Wendell Carter Jr. said he was going to play. He went through shoot around today. We know he hates this team. That's something that we've been cashing on consistently over the years. Just taking his player prop over. I did already play that 16.5. Wendell Carter Jr. playing against his old team. He takes this one serious. He absolutely hates the Bulls. So I do like Wendell Carter Jr., especially without Paolo being in. I played that one already. Cody White also said he was going to play in this one. I think it'll be his first game back in quite a while. This game is difficult, man. It should be a bull spot. Like eventually they got to get right. The Magic are 0-7-1 against the spread last 8 road games, and like I talked about, they hadn't played a road game in 2 weeks. They're also just 2-11 ATS in their last 13 games versus a team with a losing straight up record. You're asking the Bulls to win by 3 possessions, though, and they haven't won by 1 possession in the last 3 games, so I'm not willing to lay 9 points with them. I'm not taking it. I think it came down in this one, too. Let's see. It's actually down. Well, it actually came down to 8.5. Now it's back up to 9. Total in this one came down from 223 to 221. I don't really got anything on the total. I didn't really look too much into that one. This Thunder and Grizzlies game, though, man, people have been actually hitting me up. I got a couple DMs yesterday. Like, yo, Chris, when we gonna start playing totals again? What we doing with the first quarters? Like, you ain't giving none out. I felt one that I like today. I got one for y'all today. The books are gonna learn today. All right, so look, this is what we got. So we got the Thunder and the Grizzlies, right? Spread 6.5. It's actually come down to, I want to say it came down to 5.5. Let me just check and make sure. Memphis -7 came down to 6. We got, so I see it at 6 right now. I saw it at 5.5 earlier too. The total in this one opened at 232.5. It's down to 230, which makes me like this play even more. So you get the Thunder. They're coming in hot, like coming in guns blazing, right? Coming off the win versus Washington. Shout out to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Hit the step back in DC the other day and crushed them boys' dreams. I was so happy. I should have played it, but I didn't take the 5.5 with OKC in that game. This Thunder team, a lot of they're just playing good ball right now. A lot of confidence they're building, still extremely young. You see Josh Giddey, they got the Williams boys, Robinson Earl, Pokashevsky. These guys can hoop, man. When you're young and you start building that confidence, you try to keep it rolling. So, like I said, 6-2 straight up on the road, 10-5 against the spread on the season. The Grizzlies are just 3-7 ATS in the last 10. The Grizzlies, if you guys don't know, Jared Jackson Jr. is back. This will be his second game back. He played in that game against the Pelicans the other day in limited minutes. I do expect his minutes to go up, and of course they're without Desmond Bane as well. So I was gonna look towards the over in this game, and I'm like, I think I got something better. Dwayne Dedmon just got ruled out for the Miami Heat, so they're extremely thin at the center position, even more so now. Caleb Martin is going to give it a go, it looks like, as we get breaking news, and I kind of keep you guys updated. Gabe Vincent is also now listed as questionable. Yeah, they might not score 100 points. But continuing on to this Mavericks and this Memphis and OKC game. So I'm like, I'll get off of that, right? I think that it's a couple. I don't know how you guys feel about this. There's a couple guys that I'm looking to back pretty much every single night, if it makes sense. And I typically don't have like those system plays. But job points, right? We know Desmond Bane is out. Job points, I think, is in play. OKC is going to keep the game competitive from what I think, right? I don't even know what job points are sitting at, but I'm pretty sure it's like 27.5, 28.5. Chris Paul just got ruled out. I like that game to go over now. Anyway, so going back to this game. So hold on. All right. So going back to this game. What I'm looking at, right? I'm looking at a total, and I know I typically stay off them once they get over 29.5, but Memphis first quarter is 30.5 right now, And I think I like it, man. I think I like it. I haven't played it yet, but you guys know we typically we cash on the first quarters when we take the team total. I couldn't talk anybody off of the full first quarter over two. I saw that 58.5, and to me, that's a tad bit too low for these two teams, right? So Memphis, here's the analysis. Memphis, second highest offensive rating in the first quarter over the. So all of these are first quarter stats and last 5 game stats. Memphis, second highest offensive rating in the first quarter over the last 5 games. OKC playing at the second fastest pace in the first quarter, last 5 games. Memphis averaging 32 points in the first quarter, last 5 games. OKC allowing 33.6 points in the first quarter, last 5 games, by far. Well, not by far, but that is the most that's being allowed in the first quarter. I don't see a way we don't play Memphis first quarter over 30.5. I love the look. Love the look. It's actually the last thing I just capped, trying to get me a first quarter in here somewhere. I know the people want it, and that's the one I think I like the most. Memphis at the crib on a Friday, turned up without Desmond Bain, with Desmond Bain, with Jared Jackson Jr. Without him, I just feel like this team has enough offense. I feel like I talked about OKC playing at the second fastest pace, and teams are scoring the ball against them, man. They're giving up 33. So why can't Memphis come out here and get 31? I love it. I love the look. Memphis first quarter over 30.5. I'm gonna make that official play. Y'all give me a thumbs up or something if y'all like that. Y'all like the analysis? Y'all like the breakdown? What we doing with Memphis? Y'all taking it or y'all fading it? What y'all doing with Memphis first quarter? Anything? I got a 1 thumbs up. What y'all doing with that, man? Ain't nobody doing nothing with it? Okay, cool. All right, I'll be contrarian. Sit that one out by myself. All right, so moving along. Pacers and Rockets. 5-point spread. I feel like that's too many points with the Pacers, man. I know this team been balling, they've been hooping, they've been winning, they've been covering spreads, but the Rockets team, I feel like, is due too, right? And they at the crib coming off the win against the shorthanded Dallas Mavericks without Luka. Pacers coming into this game off the win against Charlotte. It'll be their second road game before they go back home. Kevin Porter Jr. is listed as questionable in this one, and that's indicative of whether you're gonna play this game or not. He's a big part of their offense. If he doesn't play, you gotta like Jalen Green a lot. Like, you gotta look at Jalen Green props a lot. What I'm looking at, highest total on the board. It opened at 237. Let's see, what did it open at? Opened at 236, and it's actually getting steamed up to 236.5. And I wouldn't be able to talk anybody off of that. I think 240 points get scored in this game, 120 to 120. I don't know who win, but I think the Rockets could keep it close, especially if they get Kevin Porter Jr. in the game. And I just don't see a lot of defense. I think Halliburton could get 15 assists. I think the Rockets could win this game, and I think that the Pacers could win this game. So I didn't take too much of a dive into this game. I just see a lot of points. I couldn't talk anybody off Ben Mathurin. I couldn't talk anybody off going back to Miles Turner rebounds, even though the Rockets are a better rebounding team than Charlotte. But I think, it's going to be some misses in this game as well. And I like Halliburton assists over 10.5. I did play that one as well. Halliburton assists 10.5. Like I said, I think he could get 15 in a game like this. Wouldn't be wrong, mad with somebody even laddering Halliburton assists tonight. It just seems like a real nice spot for Halliburton to get his assists. Moving along to this Celtics and Pelicans game, man. What I will not be doing for the foreseeable future is betting against the Celtics. I learned my lesson the other day in Atlanta. Lost a nice little chunk of change on the Boston Celtics. That I give all my plays out as 1-unit plays, but sometimes I play them for a tad bit more. And I love the spot for Atlanta the other day, so I went a little heavier than I probably should and got my heart broke the other day. So let's see. Let me give it. All right. So Celtics, I talked about this earlier. I don't know if you guys were on the morning show, if people actually tune into the morning show or not, but I got a couple tweets. I'm actually going to go through my bookmarks real quick. I'm going to pin these up here so you guys can see them. So I follow these Celtics beat writers pretty closely, especially Sean Grande, I think is how you pronounce his name. So I'm going to pin these up top so you guys can see them. Yeah, I think it's those 3 right there. If you guys want to look through those, you can. But the first one that you guys see, I think it might have been the first one I posted or the last one I posted. The Celtics, their offense is on track to be the best offense in NBA history. Like nobody has ever scored this many points consistently at this rate, right? And it doesn't matter if Jaylen Brown sits out. It doesn't matter if Al Horford sits out on the second night of a back-to-back. Like Jason Tatum is putting the ball in the basket at an extremely high clip right now, and I'm not getting in front of it anymore. I know that the Pelicans have Jose Alvarado, and I know that the Celtics are due for a loss, and I know that they have Herb Jones and Trey Murphy and Valanciunas and Brandon Ingram. I'm not getting in front of the Celtics team. I'm not playing it. I'm not playing the game as far as like picking a side. I do think that the Celtics is going to lose, but I'm not putting my money on the Celtics losing anymore. And this Pelicans team, they've been at the crib. I think this is the 5th straight home game. Don't know if Zion is going to play. He's listed as questionable. I think Marcus Smart, he didn't go through shoot around and he got ruled out. I want to say he got ruled out. I'm not 100% sure. And Brogdon said he will play. So they still have more than enough. We saw Grant Williams shoot the ball extremely good the other day. We saw Luke Cornett play really, really well as well. We saw Peyton Pritchard light it up. Like those guys, when those guys are making more threes than your starters, it can get really, really bad. And one thing we know about the Pelicans is that they don't shoot the 3-point ball. It's almost like they don't trust their shot. If you watch the game the other day against Memphis, they did hit a couple threes in that game, and the reporter asked CJ McCollum afterwards, hey, you guys are shooting the 3-point ball tonight. Why so? And he said that, Coach Willie Green was like, we got to trust our shots and not, pass up the wide open threes to drive in the lane and clog up the paint. So, maybe they do, but Boston defense, I got a tweet pinned up here as well. Boston's defense has actually picked it up a notch as well. So I'm not betting against Boston right now. And I know, like I said, they do for some regression sooner or later, but I won't be a part of, betting against them for a while. Bam, unlikely to play. That just came out as well. Couldn't talk anybody off Tatum points. I think they're going to be needed. He had like 28.5, and the guy really seems unguardable. So really like Tatum points. I haven't locked that one in yet, but that's a really, really strong lean for me. I think he had like 28.5. So I like that as well. And not really looking at anything on the Pelican side. I think until we get Zion back, we have to kind of figure that out. I was also looking at the total in this one. Total opened at 227. I think it's went all the way up to, and I probably should have just played it this morning. It was something I looked at afterwards. Total in this one is all the way up to 230. So I still think it goes over. I also a nice little pivot from the total is if you think the Celtics don't play defense and the Pelicans not, you could just take the Celtics team total over. I think it was one. Let me see. I wrote it down. I got it in my notes section. It's 117.5. The Celtics are averaging 100 north of 120 points. So do I think they get the 118 even against this Pelicans team? Yep, I do. They were off yesterday. They still got Jason Brown, Jaylen Tatum. The offense looks really, really crisp. These guys are moving the ball. They know where each other are going to be on the court. And it's not a one-man show. We saw what they did in Atlanta the other day. Even without Malcolm Brogdon, even without Marcus Smart. So I guess I like the Celtics, but I'm not playing them either. So that's my thoughts on that one. Biggest the play I like the most will probably just be Tatum points for him to keep it going and to continue just scoring the basketball as much as he has been doing. He also didn't shoot the ball good in Atlanta the other day, so could be a bounce back spot for him as well. Nuggets and the Mavericks. I did play. I don't know if you guys saw the video, but I did the Bet US video on this game. Spread opened at 8.5. Well, actually opened at way less than 8.5. But I'm seeing it showing at 6.5. It's up to 9 now. When I capped this morning, it was at 8.5. Total was sitting at 217, and it's come down to 216. So I hope you guys know already. Jamal Murray's out, Jokic is out, Aaron Gordon was listed as questionable, Reggie Bullock was also listed as questionable. I think this game is a spot where the Mavs smacked the Nuggets up early, and that's why I took the Mavs first half minus the 5.5. I think it's probably a 10-point lead at the end of the first half. And a couple things that I was looking at. So first of all, whenever you're taking a spread of 5.5 or more, you want to make sure that the team is motivated, that you're laying these 6 points with, because that does indicate that you need this team to be winning by 3 possessions, pretty much 3 possessions at the end of the first half. But when you look at this, Gabe Vincent just got ruled out. When you look at this Nuggets team without Jamal Murray, who's the second ball handler on the team, without Jokic, I just don't see where the offense comes from. They got Michael Porter Jr., but he's not the guy that's going to initiate the offense. I know they got Bones, but this Mavs team, I talked about it in the video. First half, they typically come out here and smack you up. Full game, they only won 7-1 against the spread, full game. But one of the things I looked at was, as a matter of fact, I'm going to bring it up real quick. I want to show you guys what I was looking at in this one. So I'm going to share my screen over here on, if you're watching on the YouTube channel, so you guys can see what I'm looking at. When I was capping this, I did this in the middle of the day. So let me see. All right, so you can see my screen. One thing I looked at was season equals 2022 and team equals Mavericks and a home favorite. So the Mavs this year is a home favorite. This is what I was talking about. You guys can see this. They're 1-7-1 against the spread. But if you go through and you look at the Mavs in the first quarter and first half, that's when they're winning the game. We saw it the other day when they beat up the Clippers in the first half. They just typically don't play as well in the third quarter. You can see that they're losing the third quarter 27-25, and then they're having to fight back, and they're not covering the full spread. This is just when they're home favorites, right? So looking at this, they're winning the first quarter by 2. They're winning the second quarter by 3. I'm sorry, when the second quarter, you can say by 4. That's 26 points to 22 points. That's what we need, right? We need 2 and then 4. If we get 2 and 4, we get to 6. This is against regular teams. This is not against a depleted, a depleted Denver Nuggets team that, I'm interested to see what this offense is going to look like. I think no matter what the score is, even if the Mavs come out here and struggle early offensively, like I said, offensively and defensively, over the last 5 games, the Mavericks have the second best rating, both offensively and defensively. That's why I'm on the Mavs first half minus the 5.5. I think it's a smack spot. They smack these boys up early in the first half, and then, I don't care what happens in the second half. Do they cover a big number like 9? Probably not. But should they? Yeah. Against this version of the Nuggets team, I think they absolutely should. And another reason why I really like the Mavs a lot too, I wouldn't be as comfortable with a team that didn't, hang their hats on defensive end, but the Mavs do. So like I said, even if they struggle offensively, I still expect them to be winning by, 6, 7. Honestly, I think it's probably a 10-point game at halftime. The Mavs should absolutely smack the Nuggets up without Jokic and without Jokic and without Jamal Murray in this spot. So that's one of the things that, one of my best bet. Like I said, that's my best bet. That's what I, made in the video. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, but I wanted you guys to see that. And it was some more stuff too. I'm not going to stay on that game too long. But there was a couple other queries that I ran that also supported that as well. So yeah, that's what I like. That's what I like. I like that play a lot. Back to my notes. All right, so that's the Nuggets and the Mavs. The Suns and the Jazz, I don't really have anything on this game. The Jazz should be in a better spot this time around. They are coming off 3 straight losses, but 2 of them was on the East Coast against the Wizards, a game they should have won. Then the second night of a back-to-back, they lost in Philly. They flew back, had 1 day of rest, and then they had to play against the New York Knicks after they had their team meeting at the Cheesecake Factory. And, they were able to beat the Jazz in that one, too. So the Jazz are coming back down to earth just a tad bit, which we should have expected. They shouldn't have been leading the West. Like, eventually, I don't think they're going to win the West. But, they're coming back down to earth just a tad bit. The Suns on the opposite side, coming off the really, really big win against, the Golden State Warriors the other day. And typically, when you're coming off a win, that you really, really want, it could be a letdown. It could be a look ahead the game before, and it could be a letdown the game after. And I think this could potentially be a letdown spot for, the Phoenix Suns. I think the Jazz probably want this one, really, really bad. And I would lean Jazz. I think that they could beat the Suns, but it's nothing that I'm playing. I'm not even playing a player prop in this one. And I'm trying to hurry up so I can get through. I think it's 2 more games. And one of them is the Knicks and the Warriors. I don't have any interest in this game at all. I do have interest in Steph points, though. I think the Knicks have, put it together on the defensive end just a tad bit. Mitchell Robinson is listed as doubtful in this game, so I think he is on the verge of coming back, but he probably won't come back today. The Warriors, they typically do well in this spot historically, after a loss, being a home favorite. I want to say it's about a 60% cover rate. I looked at it earlier. I didn't jot it down in my notes. I also think this game could go over because the Warriors aren't playing great defense, but they are playing a lot better at home. They still don't have a road win. I don't know what kind of magic, switch needs to be flipped in order for them to play hard and win a game. I do think it's interesting that the Knicks haven't lost in the Warriors' new arena. All the motivation should be on the Warriors, especially after Knicks coming off, 2 games in a back-to-back situation where they won both against the Jazz and against the Denver Nuggets. What a day of rest. This is the 3rd game in 4 nights, however. So it seems like a Warriors spot to me, but I'm not playing the Warriors, man. I played them the other day and they made me look like a fool. Pistons and the Lakers, last game on the board. This game is a game I don't really want to talk about either. The Pistons cost me some money last night. I tweeted out, the lean that I told you guys I was on first quarter, first half for the Clippers, and thinking that it'll be a smack spot for the Clippers in that one. Pistons came out with something. Alex Burke, Ivy looked good. Those guys play a lot better defense than I thought too. Even though part of that might be Kawhi and Paul George kind of trying to get that offense implemented, but the Pistons, I still think that was just a bad spot. The Pistons don't typically slow anybody down, so Lakers haven't played a game in a while either, so they could be a tad bit rusty, and that's the last thing you need from an offense like this. Braun hasn't played in the last couple games. And I think he's listed as questionable, even though I think he probably plays in this one. Yeah, I'm not touching this game, man. The Lakers haven't won by, they have won by 7, but they haven't been, had a 7-point gap. And I think all of it's kind of baked into the line, the Pistons being on a back-to-back. But I'm not touching this game either. I will tell you guys, I'll go through my officials again, the plays that I really like. The Celtics team total over 117.5. That's not official play, but that's what I got written in my notes. I might end up getting there on that. Job points over. Really like that play a lot. Tyrese Halliburton assists over 10.5. Really like that play a lot. I think, like I said, I think Halliburton could get 15 assists in the game, like an extremely fast-paced game against the Houston Rockets that don't play a lot of defense. Steph points over because I'm not looking for any of those other guys to Jared Allen going to be a game-time decision. Tobias Harris remains questionable. Just some updated injury news. I like Steph points again tonight, even after he scored 50. Didn't play that yet either. The Mavs first half, I am official on, minus the 5.5. And that Memphis first quarter, man, I really, really like that Memphis first quarter over 30.5. I think they could have 35 points at the end of the first quarter tonight, even without Desmond Bane. So official, Memphis first quarter over 30.5. Mavs first half over 5.5. I'm sorry, Mavs first half minus 5.5. Tyrese Halliburton assists over 10.5. And then the Celtics. I'm gonna get involved in that Celtics game some way. Probably be a Celtics team total over in that one. And that's what I got, man. Like I said, it's a lot of spots on the board, so I wanted to make sure I left enough time for everybody else to kind of chime in and maybe talk me on a play as well. 70 comments over on YouTube. I can't get to all these, man. I appreciate y'all for being here and leaving your plays. Hopefully, if you're over in the chat, Wizards team total over. I could see it, Freemonds. The Wizards offense has looked a lot better recently. It definitely has. So I could see that, Freemonds. I definitely Nuggets team total under. I could see that as well. It's gonna be hard for them to score, man. I know Bones probably gonna go crazy tonight, but man, I don't know, man. I don't know. I do not know with that one. It's a lot of good action on the board. So if y'all got plays, man, continue to drop them in the chat for me. And then if you got play and you want to talk about it on Twitter, just send me a request and I'll get you guys up. And we'll keep it moving. Anybody got any plays they like? Anybody got anything they want to contribute? Let me check the mentions real quick. Jehovah said Devin Booker's masterclass tonight, plus the W. Okay. Devin Booker gonna be schooling somebody out there in Utah tonight, says Jehovah. Getting behind his guys again. Mr. Vidal 23 and Y says, I'm on Memphis first quarter with you, bro. Okay, let's ride then. Let's ride. What website is that? That website, Money Alerts, is givemethedog.com, where I run a lot of my trends for SDQL type stuff. You got to know the queries, but it's cool. Small Bag Dog said he's on Laurie Marketing over 9.5 rebounds plus assists. I couldn't talk you off of that one. I think marketing, them being well rested in this spot is a pretty good spot for them. So I like that look a lot as well. Best of luck to you guys on your action too, for sure. I appreciate you guys for dropping those plays in the comment section and over commenting on the actual post as well, whether on YouTube or on Twitter. I got my guy Finesse in the building. Finesse, what's going on, my brother? Talk to the people. Tell them what you want today. Oh, you got disconnected. Hold on, let me get you back up for that.
Yo, what's good? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You good? What you want, Finesse? What you liking, my brother?
My bad, shit was tripping. Yo, first of all, I need me one of them hats. Right? You got my address. Okay, we need to make that happen.
Bet. Okay, I got you, bro.
But yeah, so I'm loving today's slate. I got a ton of plays. I'll share a couple with you guys. First thing I'm on is Ja Morant over 13.5 rebounds and assists. That's minus 130 on FanDuel. I think there's a ton of value in this. Ja's covered this line in 5 of his last 7 games and is now back home, where he's covered this line in 9 of his last 10 home games. His productivity just shoots up in terms of assists and rebounds at home. His rebounds jumped from 7.1 overall his last 10 games to 8.2 his last 10 home games, and assists jumped from 6.7 to 8.7 in his last 10 home games. Ja's averaging close to 34 minutes per game over his last 10. He's covered this line in 10 of his last 14, playing 33 plus. And he's also covered this line in 8 of Memphis's last 10 wins. He's covered this line in back-to-back games versus OKC. And OKC is bottom 12 in rebounds and assists allowed to point guards. OKC is playing at the fastest pace over the last, I think, 5 games I looked at. Memphis playing at a much slower pace, but we talk about this all the time. We expect OKC to kind of pace them up, kind of speed their flow up. So yeah, I really like that. What else? You mentioned Turner rebounds. Miles Turner rebounds. I'm on that officially over 8.5. I like Wiggins tonight. I took him 15 plus points and 2 plus threes. That's at minus 135. Obviously, those two things are correlated. I just wanted to kind of reduce the juice on the threes. That was minus 135 when DK might be able to get a better line. I took that super late last night. He's cleared the points line at 14 of his last 18 and 8 of his last 10 home games. He's covered the 3-point line in 16 of his last 20 games and 8 of his last 10 at home. He's averaging nearly 34 minutes per game over the last 10 when playing 32 plus. He's covered the points line in 14 and 18, 9 and 10 at home, and he's covered the 3-point line in 14 of his last 18 and 23 of his last 31 home games. Over the last 5 games, the Knicks are ranked 23rd in opponent scoring, 21st in opponent 3-pointers made, and 20th in opponent 3-point percentage. And they've been especially bad versus small forwards, allowing the second most points, the 9th highest field goal percentage, and the second most threes to the position. He's covered this points line in 12 straight games versus the Knicks, and covered the 3-point line in 4 of his last 6 versus the Knicks. So obviously correlated, love that there. What else we got? Brook Lopez over 1.5 made threes. A little bit juiced. I took it, just drink the juice. That's minus 145 on DK. He's covered this line in 7 of his last 10 games, 4 of his last 5 road games. This is really just a matchup thing. If you look at numbers, Philly does a great job defending the 3, doesn't allow teams to even take that many threes, but this is purely a matchup thing. Lopez is going to be tasked with guarding Embiid, obviously, but more importantly, he's going to be tasked with dragging him out the paint on the defensive end. Over the last 2 games versus Philly, Lopez has taken 21 3-point shots, which is crazy, including 12 attempts last game versus Philly at the start of the year, and has hit 4 threes in both of those games. Overall, he's hit this line in 4 of his last 5 versus Philly. So purely a matchup thing. I think he's going to take 6 to 8 threes, and all we need is for him to make 2 of them. I know I'm talking a lot. I'm almost done.
Nah, you good, bro.
I'll share with you guys.
Nah, keep going. Please keep going.
Last one, Eric Gordon. We cashed on him once or twice early in the year, and I'm hopping back on the train. Great value, over 11.5 points. That's minus 108 on FanDuel. I think it's actually going down. I think you might be able to get a better price still like it. I don't really give a fuck. Gordon has covered this line in 7 of his last 12 games, but he's faced some really tough matchups. Clippers twice, Dallas, Toronto. He's covered this line in 5 of his last 8 home games, and now faces a Pacers defense ranked 28th in opponent scoring, 18th in opponent field goal percentage, and 29th in opponent three-point percentage. And he's been especially bad versus small forwards, allowing the 6th most points to the position. He's cleared this line in 3 straight games versus the Pacers, averaging 15 points per game over the last 6. And it should be a perfect game script. Short spread, total almost 240, and both teams are top 10 in pace. So I'm loving the spot for Gordon. The 2+3s I think is a bit too juice, but love him at the 11.5 points. So that's what I got. Morant over 13.5 rebounds and assists. Brook Lopez over 1.5 made threes. Eric Gordon over 11.5 points. And Turner over 8.5 rebounds. And Wiggins 15+ points and 2+3s.
Hey, Finesse, you got some fire looks, bro. I love these joints, especially that Eric Gordon. And I like it a lot more. If you go ahead and put it in now, and I still don't know the status of Mr. Kevin Porter Jr. I know he was listed as questionable, but man, that's a great number to get especially if he out at the crib, bro, against that poor defense. Against the Indiana Pacers traveling cross country. I love that, Finesse. God damn, well, you be finding them joints, okay? Finesse done pivoted too. Finesse done pivoted on us. If y'all remember last year, Finesse used to be in the spreads and the totals like me. He done went player prop on us and got hot. More than went Hollywood and got hot with the player props.
Yeah, I will say, and I'm sorry, I know I'm taking up time. I want to let other people talk. I am on my Celtics tonight.
Okay.
Part of the defensive stuff you were talking about, we are getting a lot better on defense. One play that I guess I'll share another with you guys. I'm on a Jason Tatum block. I won't give out all the shit, but I think he gets a block tonight. He's been big in their kind of defensive step up from early in the year. I think we take care of business. I know Zion's kind of questionable still. Don't know if we're gonna play. It's a short spread. I like my Celtics tonight too, so that is my only spread pick for the night as well.
Word, okay. I like that too, Finesse. I actually want Zion. If Zion play, I think I'm gonna take the over. His defense is terrible, and I just feel like he really gonna be in the blender because I didn't see him like play like poor defensively, like on switches and like picks and stuff, like against bad offenses. So if you get like a good offense, like Boston really puts that ball like it just don't stick, like it just keep moving and they just find shooters wide open from 3. And I know these teams are like watching the film and like looking at all these things, but nobody can seem to stop it. They're just wide open for 3 like every time down the court. It's crazy, but if Zion's out there, I still like the over, and I hope it. I might end up playing it. If not, like I said, I might get with you, Finesse, and get on that team total over. I just feel like the Celtics can score 120 points against anybody right now. It feels like to me. So especially with a day off, I don't care if Marcus Smart in, Marcus Smart out. They could have Bill Russell. They could have Larry. They could bring Larry back. It just feel like they can score the ball, bro. Like, it don't matter who they got out there. Grant Williams could start at point guard. But yeah, I love it. Love the looks, Finesse. Hope you cash in, my brother, and best of luck to you. Vaughn, I'm gonna kick. Oh, my fault. Too Heavy. You was up here first. Then I'm gonna kick it to Vaughn. What up, Too Heavy?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, you good?
Yo, what's up? Appreciate you letting me come on. I only got 2 plays today. I'm keeping it real short. Marcus Smart was ruled out today, so that means Derek White is getting another start. I told you about the over 12.5 in the last game, and he killed that, scored 16. Tonight, they put his number at 10.5. I took the over on that. It was -108 when I got it. They going to need him to score because a lot of attention going to be on Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown tonight. I think he's going to have to show up and make a couple of shots. They also got his threes. I think they got his threes at 1.5 over and under, and he's hit 2 in the last 2 games. But like I said, he's in a situation where you get these starter minutes, bro, because Smart ain't here. You need to show up and show out. We can't lose to the Pelicans because you ain't stepping up. We pass you the ball, you get the shots. So I'm on Derek White over 10.5 points. I think he can get that. The other play I really like today is Wendell Carter Jr. Paolo Banchero is out. Bobo is over there, so it might get a little sticky. But I know that Wendell Carter Jr. really hates the Bulls. He don't like them at all. And I took his PRA numbers over 30.5. I think tonight he just show out on his own team and kind of make them regret getting rid of him.
Lot of luck, bro. I got I didn't write that one down, but I did play that as well. I typically play every single time that he played that he ever plays it. I remember like last year being in cap spaces and bringing that up, and I actually didn't even get the best of the line, and that joint got nuked so quick. His points went up. I don't know what the next point was, but it went up real quick. So yeah, I'm always looking to play that matchup, especially without Paulo out there. So that's official for me as well. I didn't play the PRA. I played the points just over 16.5. And I heard, people talking about it earlier in the space as well, in ski space as well. So I am official on Wendell Carter Jr. over the 16.5 points. It's a half unit play for me versus a full unit play, but I know that it's something personal with him and, that team. So love the looks heavy. So somebody else that also mentioned Derek White as well, not on the show, but like you left it in the comment section. Somebody else that they was on his points as well. I think that's could be a cash cow. We know what this guy can do. Even at the highest level. So against a Pelicans team that is playing, a lot better defensively recently, they just gonna have to have their head on a swivel and really be locked in tonight. So I like that look a lot, bro. I like both of your looks.
Yeah, the bookies ain't really adjusted to his number, which is kind of weird. Like all of his numbers, his points number is low, his threes number is low, his assist numbers is low. Like I think they had his assist yesterday in the last game that they started. They had it at 3.5. That motherfucker went and got 10. What?
Right.
Y'all ain't adjust the number? I don't know, but I'm gonna take advantage of it if they sleep. You feel me?
No, that's a fact, and I think stuff like that happens because you get such a big slate. Like they're not gonna be able to remember, to change everything. Personally, that's just how I feel. I feel like if we only had 2 games and it was a Thursday, his and he had 10 assists in the last game, his assist line would be like 7.5. But because of that, I feel like they just didn't adjust it because they got so many games on the night.
That's real talk, man. I appreciate you allowing me to speak in the space, man. Best of luck to everybody. I hope y'all cash tonight.
Absolutely, bro. Anytime. Appreciate you being here as well. Vaughn, kick it to you, and then we'll get to Boogie and Monotone. What up, Vaughn?
Hey, I'm good, bro. You hear me good? I'm at work. I don't
Yeah.
know if you can hear me.
Yeah, you good. Bam just got ruled out too. Latest news from Underdog.
So, do the Heat got enough people to play tonight?
Yeah, I think they're gonna have like 6, bro. It's like, nah, they got enough, but they thin, bro. They're gonna be real thin. Somebody also said in the YouTube comment section, I wasn't aware of this. Somebody said that there is a some kind of ceremony tonight. Let me see if I can find it. It's a ceremony for the Wiz having the big 3 ceremony tonight with Gilbert Arenas, Caron Butler, and Antoine Jameson. So it might be hype. I can see it, man. This Wizards team is playing better. They did lose the game the other day, but that spread is gonna be crazy. Like it's gonna be. They might get up to like 7.5, 8.5 for that game. And the Wizards got everybody, and Bill is his second game back, so it should be a smack spot for them. But I'm not messing with the Wizards. Like I said, they're 0-6, 0-5, or something like that when they're home favorites, laying more than 6 points. So I couldn't get there with them, but Monotone, I'm gonna come to you next, bro, because that's Monotone team. Monotone probably gonna have some insight for us in that one. But what you on today, Von? What you looking at, bro?
Hey, man. So I got a couple plays, man. We looking at a few bounce back spots, a few common sense spots. So I'm with finesse on Miles Turner rebounds at 9.5. I got it at plus money. I took that early this morning. So
you breaking up a little bit, Von. If you can hear me, bro, you breaking up just a tad bit.
Get Monotone go. I'm gonna have to move spots, bro.
Okay. I'll kick it to Monotone. What up, Monotone?
Nothing much, man. I'm enjoying the slate. We got a lot of injury news, so I'm just trying to react as much as possible. But yeah, you mentioned not wanting to mess with the Wizards, the 7.5 point favorites. I completely agree with that. As someone that's watched more Wizards game than anyone really should over these last couple seasons, we do play up to opponents.
Right.
We play up, but we play way down too. The only thing here, the Heat, I just said it at the top, they're only going to have 7 guys ready to suit up today. It said Gabe Vincent will suit up, but he won't actually play. That's just to, make that league mandated 8 players. So that's a huge disadvantage, right? So if they do put up key player props, I'd almost have to assume we have to bet some of these overs if these guys are going to play 35 minutes a game. On the Washington side, I don't know how we don't bet Porzingis right here. I actually don't know who's going to guard him, right?
I said the same thing, Monotone.
Right? Like, looking at this player list, I've never heard of Orlando Robinson before. I've legitimately never heard of him. He'll be their starting center. I would have to assume he's 6'10", and 22 years old. So if anyone has any insight on him, that's great. Beyond that, it's just going to be Nikola Jovic, who's a rookie, and also around that 6'9", 6'8" kind of size. Porzingis is 7'4". I mean, he's been playing great recently, right? 25 points in each of his last 3 games. Beal is back, but we also have to remember Beal has a tough matchup. Kyle Lowry's a great defensive player, even at his age. Max Strus is a very, very good on-ball defender, and Caleb Martin is also a forward that normally can guard these smaller guards as well. So Beal is going to see possibly 3 different guys on these switches. Well, Porzingis, once again, is going to be dealing with Nikola Jovic, Hayward Highsmith, and Orlando Robinson. So I had to lock in Porzingis 20 points just now. I feel like it's inevitable, but I do have another one too from earlier on. It's a 2-leg parlay on FanDuel. I like it a lot. It's Giannis 10 rebounds, which I'm sure people have talked about already, and then Jalen Brunson 15 points. Both of those things combined together is minus 120 on FanDuel, and it's probably one of my favorite combos of the season so far. Brunson has cleared 15 points in 13 of 15 games all season long. His 2 misses were 13 and 14 points, right? So he was 1 bucket away from each of those 2 misses, and those were both against teams that were top 5 in points in the paint allowed, or bottom 5, sorry, in points in the paint allowed this season. So Brunson has been ungodly consistent, and now gets a great matchup right here against Golden State. Golden State's a top 10 pace team. The Knicks are kind of middle of the pack, which feels like a huge improvement from last season when we were talking about them being one of the slowest out there. So low defense, high pace game. Brunson should get 15. And then if no one's talked about Giannis yet, 15.8 rebounds in his last 10 games versus Embiid. He's cleared 10 rebounds in 13 straight games against Philly. Just a huge past matchup right there. So I really love that combo today as well.
Love it, Monotone. And I'm glad we're on the same wavelength. You want to take the Wizards as dogs, but not necessarily as favorites, especially laying a big number like this, Monotone. I know you know a lot about your team, bro, and the SDL queries that I run say the same exact thing. We saw them get a couple outright wins last week and earlier this week as dogs. So probably play the props instead of playing the side. You can put them in a money line parlay. They should win the game. You definitely don't want to, this will be this will be a brutal loss if you lost this one, especially with the 7 players that's available for for the Miami Heat. Love the looks, Monotone. If people didn't hear that, Monotone said the 2-legger is Giannis 10 rebounds and Jalen Brunson 15 points, and also a Porzingis over 20. So like both of those looks a lot, Monotone. I hope you cash them, bro. Vaughn, can you hear me? If so, I'm gonna kick it back to you.
Yeah, bro, I'm good. You hear me good?
Yeah, you good.
All right, bet. So what's going on? So I'm with Finesse, bro. I'm on the Miles Turner rebounds. I was on that one a little early this morning. I'm with you on that Memphis first quarter total at 30.5. Last 3 games, we've seen OKC give up 37 to the Wizards, 35 to the Celtics, and 48 to the Knicks. Also, OKC is the worst road first quarter defense. So I love that Memphis first quarter at 30.5. I got a 2-leg parlay with Embiid at 30 points and Giannis at 10.5 rebounds. So Monotone just talked about Giannis rebounds, averaging 15.2 over the last 10 games. Also, he's hit that line in 12 of the last 13 games against them. With Embiid, so this one is I guess it's a little bit contrarian in a sense, because Milwaukee typically defends Embiid pretty good. However, last 4 games, we got Joel Embiid is first or second in usage, field goals made, field goals attempted, free throws made, free throws attempted. So I just like the volume right there. We see everything with Philly right now is running through Joel Embiid. So I love that line at 29.5. So I like that one. Let's see. I'm on Golden State first quarter. Golden State, as we know, they typically bounce back well. They've been a lot better at home. I don't think they've won a game on the road this season. Like Golden State to come out with some fire. at 2.5 in that first quarter. Let's see. I'm on Halliburton points and assists. Combo, I got it at 29.5. And one of my favorite plays of the day, man, I like Phoenix and Utah. First quarter total at 55.5. Both teams scoring around 28.5. That total at 55.5, just a little bit too low for me. So those are some of the things that we on, man. We ain't get too creative today. And I like the Brook Lopez threes as well. I laddered it up to 3 and 4. I think he's hit at least 3 in 4 of the last 5 games against Embiid. So couple of this, it seemed like me and Finesse aligned on a few plays. Me and you aligned on a few plays. I want to get there with Cleveland first half at 5.5, or that first quarter at 3.5, maybe even both. But I think I got a few too many plays, so I'm going to chill. But I really, really like that Cleveland first quarter and first half as well.
Yeah, I might get.
We on, bro.
All right, cool. I appreciate that. And I hope you cash them, Vaughn, especially because, like you said, we sound like me and Finesse on a lot of the same stuff. That Cleveland first half, Vaughn, I might get there with that, man. I do think like I said, it should be a spot where Cleveland winning by at least 10 at halftime. Like I know, they've said it before, but it's Friday, they back at the crib, especially if we get Jared Allen being rolled in this one. I'll probably end up playing that too, man. I ain't gonna lie, I'll probably end up playing that one too. And I've been talking about that one, it feels like, for 2 days now. I just feel like, eventually Cleveland got to get a get right spot. And I think this could be it against a shorthanded Charlotte team. I still don't know if Gordon Hayward's playing or not. The injury, report and manipulation is driving me crazy. Like, I absolutely hate it, not being able to lock stuff in early, not being able to even cap the games completely. Like, it just changes the dynamic so much. One player being ruled in or ruled out. So, take it with that information and do what you guys want. But I like Cleveland first half too, Vaughn. I haven't played it yet either, though. Let me kick it to Boogie, and then I'll kick it to you, Ben. What up, Boogie?
We chilled tonight. We chilled last night. You feel me? Because the night won't get crazy. So we just went with the Kings over last night. That cash. Today, I'm going to just give y'all my favorite bets. So my favorite prop for the day is Anthony Davis points over. Right now, Anthony Davis, he is shooting, he's shooting close to 50% on 2-point field goals made unassisted. So somebody passed him the ball and he got to go get a shot for himself. He's hitting that at a high streak. And when it comes to 2-point field goals made on assisted shots, he's shooting like 55%. But why did I say that? Because Anthony Davis is shooting 90% of his field goal attempts is coming from 2-point shots. A lot of the time, previous seasons, he was shooting too many threes, but you can see this year he's starting to play way more in the paint. 96% is a very high number. So I'm gonna go with him to get. Let me see what the number was.
You get it at 23.5?
I think I played it up to 26. I think I played it up to 26 at plus 104. But also the Detroit Pistons. The Detroit Pistons, they are bottom 2 in the league when it comes to fouls per game, and they're giving up a lot of points in the paint. I believe they're bottom 10 in the league at points in the paint. Last stat, Anthony Davis, he is giving a lot of his points. Lost the number, but a lot of his points is coming off of fast breaks. Detroit don't give up a lot of fast break points, but that's probably due to the people they was playing. I see Anthony Davis getting out on the break tonight because the Lakers are the top 3 teams in fast break points right now. But my favorite game of the night is this Knicks and this Golden State Warriors game. So this morning I was just going through my numbers and my stats, and I'm really loving the Knicks in this game. I'm gonna tell you why. So the Warriors, like I said, Detroit was bottom 2 in the league in personal fouls per game. Golden State is dead last in personal fouls per game. So I'm like, okay, they dead last. Let's see who's getting all these fouls. When it's coming to getting all these fouls, we got we got Draymond Green and Looney. Green is top 15 in the league with fouls right now, bottom 15 in the league with fouls, and Kevin Looney is like bottom 20 in the league. And then if you go a little bit further, you got Andrew Wiggins bottom 30. It ain't no other team in the NBA. They got 3 starters in the top 30 when it comes to fouls per game. So Draymond Green, I see it's going to be an aggressive game because the Knicks, they shoot most of their points in the paint. I just had it up. So Brunson, Randall, and RJ. So Randall was 10th in the league in free throws attempted, and he's hitting it at a 75% rate. RJ Barrett and Jalen Brunson is top 30 in free throws attempted. RJ hitting at a 74% rate, and Brunson is hitting at an 88% rate. So they're going to have to really guard the paint tonight. I see Draymond Green getting in foul trouble. I think it's going to be him more than Learning. He played a little bit more aggressive than Learning. So I'm looking at Draymond Green under his PRA. He haven't went over this number versus no top team yet this year. I see him getting out early in the first half and probably getting in more foul trouble in the second half. I also got the New York Knicks. I'm going to take that 7.5. I think that's too high of a number. I think we're going to be relying on a lot of Curry. And I think if Draymond Green not going to be in the game, he created a lot of shooting opportunities, and he pushed the ball up the court. So without him in the game, I got a low-scoring game. I think 233 going to be too high, so we're going to go under 233. We're going to go the Knicks plus 7.5. I like Jalen Brunson points over 19.5, and I like Draymond Green under PRA. And you can also look at Looney under PRA because Looney right now he averaging 17.5 PRA, but in the last couple games he been 21-20. Now the books got his PRA at 16.5 at plus money. They not expecting him to be in the game long today, probably because of the foul trouble. But that's all my picks for today.
Okay, hey, best of luck, but you sound like you went heavy in that game, bro. I hope you cash him. I definitely hope you got a good read and you cash all them Giants. Ben, let me kick it to you real quick and then Hustle, I'm coming to you. What up, Ben?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Doing good. Did anyone speak on Terry Rozier yet?
Nah. I know me and you kind of went back and forth in the DMs earlier, but nah, talk to the people about him.
That's the guy tonight for me. Terry's a Cleveland guy, Shaker Heights High School, 5 miles from downtown Cleveland. And whenever he comes home to Cleveland, the volume and the number of shots and the intensity he plays, it all just lines up. We'll start with Cleveland giving up the second highest field goal percentage to opposing point guards last 7 games, and Terry's gonna be running the point tonight with LaMelo out. You then get to Rozier in his last 5 games, the line is at 20.5 for his points and 2.5 for his threes. He's averaging 28 in his last 5 games in Cleveland. He had 1 dud last year where he did score 6 in a game in Cleveland. That was Charlotte's first road game of the year. That's kind of weird, right? It's the first week of the season. I'm willing to throw that one out, especially because if you look at his home versus road splits this year, he's actually scoring more points and shooting at a better percentage on the ball. So I'm not too worried about that. You then look, LaMelo's out. His splits with LaMelo out are all obviously better. He's got the ball in his hands more. And in 3 games where he's played against Cleveland without LaMelo, he has scored 30 plus in all 3. He's averaging right around 5 made threes, either 5 or 5.5 made threes a game against Cleveland. The volume he's shooting threes with is ridiculous. He had 1 game against Cleveland of the 5 where he actually made 10 threes. So safe to say I feel really, really good about this one. We're going to have the volume. He's attempting, I think, an average of 14 threes per game against Cleveland in Cleveland, and north of 20 overall attempts. You look at other guards who have been, playing against Cleveland. I mean, shoot, Russell Westbrook made 3 threes against Cleveland. They're not defending the 3 ball very well from guards. I watch Cleveland regularly, being a Cleveland guy, and Cleveland really struggles with these kind of athletic perimeter players who, can get their own shots, spot-up shooters. I mean, you saw what Milwaukee did the other night against Cleveland, just with the number of 3-pointers made. Cleveland's a little inept at defending the 3 ball right now. It's a little worrisome for me as a Cavs fan, but we'll take advantage of it with Rozier tonight. I got a unit on his points at 20.5. I got a unit on his threes at 2.5. Both of those I got at minus 120. I think you can actually get them for minus 115 right now because books took the props down and put them back up, and it's almost like it reset the juice. I also have them laddered at 25 points and 30 points for a quarter unit each at plus 240 and plus 500. And then I have, plus either 500 or 700. Sorry, I don't have it in front of me. And then I also have them laddered at 4 threes and 5 threes for plus 220 and plus 500 for a quarter unit each. I don't usually put multiple units on a player. If I do, I came on here and talked about, Brunson, Fox, and Miles Turner the last couple days. Those were all 1.5 unit plays for me. So I feel really, really good putting this much on Rozier for this one.
Okay. Hey, Ben, I hope you cashing, bro. I don't have any pushback for you at all. I think that's a solid play for sure. Do we know if Gordon Hayward ended up getting ruled in or not?
I'm not sure if he got ruled in, but at least for me, the trade-off with LaMelo and Gordon, I still think that's a use of bomb.
Right. No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just trying to figure out, if he going, because it actually might be better if Gordon Hayward is in, because sometimes when the stars play, that's somebody he can kick the ball to, somebody else that draws attention from the defense.
No doubt.
Yeah, a lot of the times we think when these players are out, the first thing we do is the superstars partners out, the B player, we look for the A player to go over his points, and typically is that they're facilitating more. KD's averaging more assists than he has, of course, without Kyrie. And we saw the same thing with Giannis. Like Giannis had a bunch of assists specifically to Brook Lopez the other day against the same Cleveland Cavaliers defense, and he went under his point prop. So it's a nice little pivot away from the points. I know Ski was on. Ski came up here yesterday and talked about taking De'Aaron Fox assists over, instead of his points. So, and he cashed that at 6.5 and 7.5 yesterday. So, it's a nice look to, kind of pivot away from. So I like the look, Ben. I think that, even if Rozier gets his, I do look for Charlotte to stifle. I look for Cleveland. I look for you guys to actually play a lot better defense tonight, Ben, especially if Jared Allen is in. I don't know if you read the reports. I talked about him yesterday, the team meeting that you guys had. I feel like eventually, they're going to put it together. And the books are anticipating this to be the Smack City spot. They got the spread at 9.5, probably 10 if Jared Allen gets rolled in. So, but I like the look, though. I love the look, bro. I hope you cash it.
Yeah, and another thing, too, if Jared Allen isn't in, and they do play Mobley at the center position, this might be a real fast.
Just came out in, Ben. As you said that Jared Allen will play tonight.
Will play. Okay, so never mind on that. But I guess that will, I read something yesterday. Jared Allen hosted an event in Cleveland, and if it really was that non-COVID related illness rather than the event, he must be feeling okay, rather than that ankle that he had before. The other one I was going to say, if Allen is in, we got to look to his rebounds against Mason Plumlee.
Absolutely. I'm glad you said that. I almost forgot about that.
Especially against these interior-only centers. I put him in the same category as Jakob Poeltl, Nurkic, and Looney, guys like that. And Allen, it just feels like Allen racks up the boards against those type of games.
Absolutely. No, I agree with that. Yeah,
I don't got the lineup
Yeah,
yet.
well, they just put the line. They probably don't have the lineup. You're right, but it'll probably be posted a little bit later. But they I see the starting lineup just came out. Garland Mitchell, Lamar Stevens, Evan Mobley, and Jared Allen. So yeah, they got the guys back, and that's probably going to end up pushing me to the Cavs first half. Like I said, I think it's a smack spot coming for Cleveland sooner or later. I'm willing to lay the 5.5 with them tonight, and take the favorite in this one to come out and dominate these boys and get. It just seemed like a get right spot, So I'll probably end up adding that one too.
The other guy I want to look at, I haven't put it in yet. I probably will. Is Max Strus.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he's kind of the guy that gets that, and maybe Caleb Martin too. I got to figure out. I got to do the queries on StatMuse to see who gets the bump when Jimmy Butler's out, who gets the bump when Bam's out. But I think we all are thinking the same thing. Someone's going to have to play 40 minutes in this game. No matter how bad the Heat play, someone's scoring the 90 points for them. The thing is, if they do get blown out, they got 8 players. 2 of the 5 starters are still going to play.
Absolutely. Monotone said that. You're definitely right, Ben. Monotone actually came up and said that as well. Yeah, I think I still see points in this game. I know, a lot of people probably be looking towards the under, but the total in this one just continues to, well, it actually didn't drop as much. So it opened at 218, it's down to 216.5. When you take away, you actually got to play like the Washington Wizards team total over is almost like you almost have to play it because, the only thing that can hurt is their defense. But when you think about this Miami team without having Jimmy Butler, who is their best defender, without having Bam Adebayo, I mean, I think this total flies over. I ran the query earlier. I think it's something like 13-7 over the last 2 years. So that's, more than 50% or right about 50%, to the over. Was over 50%. I'm sorry. Yeah. So I think Miami, still finds a way to kind of keep this game competitive. I wouldn't lay the 7.5 with the Wizards, even though that, it seems like the only place you could look. And I think Miami still could score in this game. They'll, they still got Kyle Lowry. He'll start to set the guys up and, get that offense flowing.
Wizards team total sitting at 112 right now.
Yeah, I think you got to take the over on that. I think you got to.
That's a really
Yeah. I mean, they already been scoring that recently. The offense is looking good. Bradley Beal, second game back, so it's not the first game back. I'm writing that down on my short list for sure. Wizards team total over. You said it was 111.5, 112.5? 112.5. Yeah, I think they can get to 113 points for sure. It's a lot to like tonight, man. Lots and like, man. You definitely gotta pick and choose your spots. Right now, I think I got.
These are those dangerous nights where you might get a little excited on some of these nights.
Right. No, that's a fact. And we got, of course, we got games tomorrow. We got what? We got 3, 4. We got 5 games tomorrow, starting at 6:00 Eastern time. So, some interesting games tomorrow too. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting for sure. All right, appreciate you, Ben. Hope you cash on them tonight, man. I think you brought a lot of great insight, and like I said, good luck. Let me kick it to Hustle real quick before we get up out of here. Hustle, what you on today?
What's the deal, man? I know I'm in here late. Came up late, but most of my plays got talked about already. So I did a parlay with Brook Lopez is over, and Porzingis is over. And I'm also on Brunson's over. I couldn't believe it. He's at 18.5. I really expected to be about 22. But yeah, I'm on his over 18.5. That OKC and Memphis, I actually got that first quarter over at 58.5. So definitely on that. I believe that's definitely gonna go over. And got a couple leans. I'm liking Bowl double at plus 145. Ja and Shy's 30, 35 is like 601, and their 40s combined is like 2,300. I believe both of those could be a sprinkle. Both of those could go off on each other. And I think that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I got this theory, Hustle, where hold on, I'm trying to see if I can pull it up real quick. So I got this theory where, like, I think superstars score more points on the road than they do at home, because they get more help from their role players at the crib versus when they go on the road. Typically role players don't play as well. So I was actually thinking about job points over too. I mentioned it earlier on my short list, but I think this might be a spot where Ja, and Finesse kind of talked about it too, goes over his assist prop. We know that Desmond Bane isn't going to be there, and I'm not saying that he can't go for 30 or 40, but might be a look. I'm just curious to see what that looks like, home versus road splits.
What does this say?
Hold on for a second. I want to say his assist is at. I'm pretty sure it's probably about what? About 7.5. Probably 7.5. Let me check it real quick. I'll let you know. Hold on.
The other thing too, he's got a tough matchup with Dort. He might be past.
He's at 5.5.
His assist at 5.5? No way. It's 8.5. So yeah, they bumped it up already. It probably opened at 7.5. But what I'm looking at real Real quick, I see it on DraftKings at 8.5 for plus money. So it's probably 7.5 on other books. Probably not plus money. But so looking at this real quick, Hustle. So I'm looking at Ja this year in home games. He's averaging 27.5 points. In away games, he's averaging 31. You see what I'm saying? So it kind of bodes well. So that's why I like Tatum points tonight, right? Like 28.5 because first of all, we get a really small spread. So that it should be blowout proof. And Tatum is the guy, right? Like, so he's going to be the guy that's going to step up and, make the shots if the other guys aren't hitting. So I'd much rather take the same thing with Steph, right? We see Steph drop 50 on the road, but he didn't need 50 at home against the Spurs. You know what I mean? The Spurs one of the worst defenses in the league, but the other guys gonna play better. You know what I mean? So I kind of look. I don't know how you feel about that, but I kind of feel like so this the other thing. This the other thing too to what you're saying, Hustle. Ja averaging 8.3 assists at the crib. On the road, he only averaging 5.4. So it's letting you know he's shooting the ball, just a little bit more. So I don't know how y'all feel about that. Yeah, but go ahead. You got it.
For me, it's only a sprinkle. Like I said, if you put their 35 and 40 together, the odds are so good. It's just worth the, it's worth a tenth of a unit. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
So that's what I'm not on their line. Like, I'm not on their over. Those are just leans. Like I said, I'm on the first one I'll talk about. Those are the ones that I've already locked in. But like I said, on that game, I'm really on that first quarter. I believe that first quarter is going to get smashed. So yeah, I'm on that one. But like I said, worth the sprinkle to 35 or 40. I think, it's worth it. A couple bucks, a happy meal,
Yeah, for sure. You got so Mitchell, I think it's Mitchell, is how that's pronounced. He says OKC is allowing the 5th most points in the paint, and Ja averages 20 plus drives per game. That's a crazy stat right there. I mean, and that tell you Ja could, he could live in the lane for real tonight.
But Shea's the same way.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Points coming up in the paint. So.
The difference is that Ja got a lot more rim protection behind him, especially with having Jared Jackson Jr. back. Shea don't got nobody behind him. You know what I mean? Yeah, he legit has them on his back, bro. So that's the biggest difference. I was thinking about that when I was capping the game earlier. So that's the analysis on that game. I think it's gonna be an interesting game, man. I'm definitely interested in watching that one for sure. I'll be watching it.
Also, the Luka's triple double is good odds to me. He's at plus 500 right now. Luka could very well not score a lot, because they could blow his team out. But I believe he can get a triple double this game.
Okay. I don't think it's a game where he needs to have one, but I see what you're saying though. I mean, he could potentially have one, close to one at the end of the first half. So I see what you're saying. For sure. For sure. Okay. Hey, best of luck, Hustle. I hope you cash it, man.
All right, appreciate it.
Absolutely, bro. I'm gonna kick it back to Vaughn, then I'm gonna go over my officials and then we getting up out of here. What up, Vaughn?
Hey, just real quick, bro. So Kevin Porter Jr. got ruled out.
Mm-hmm.
Who you think gets the bump going into that secondary role for them? I don't watch a lot of Houston. So just asking.
Eric Gordon, like Finesse said. Finesse came on here and gave out Eric Gordon. I played it when he gave it out. Well, actually, I played it as soon as, I don't know if people see me picking my phone up, but I played Eric Gordon points. It was at 11.5. I think it was minus 130, minus 135. But he's like, if you just go look at his shot attempts, extremely fast-paced game. I honestly would a lot of Eric Gordon up to probably about 15, 20 tonight. I think Eric Gordon could go for 15 or 20. I love the 11.5 where I got it at. Shout out to Finesse because I hadn't even thought about that. But as soon as I saw that notification, somebody was talking. As soon as I saw the notification, I played Eric Gordon over 11.5. I wouldn't talk anybody off playing it at 12.5, 13.5. That guy, he absolutely shoots the ball for sure. A kid named Coop said he looking at Jalen Green assists now. All the offense gonna be, focused around him. So I couldn't talk anybody off that either. Love the question though, Vaughn. That's how the spaces used to be, bro. It used to be, like, let's have a conversation about, what we gonna take. Versus me just, giving y'all all my plays all the time. But I feel like we get less interaction. Tony said, I'm on that over 220, 236. Porter got ruled out and total went up. Rockets / Pacers. Okay. I could see it. I could see it for sure. I'm not on any totals today. But real quick, before I get up out of here, man, I do want to give you guys my favorite look. So as far as props, I really like Halliburton over the 10.5 assists. Like I said, I think he could get up to 14, 15 assists tonight in this game. Wendell Carter Jr. versus old team. Love it at 16.5. Played that as well. Jason Tatum, I went ahead and made that official. I want Tatum over 28.5, especially without having Marcus Smart. On, that theory that I'm talking about, away team, small spread, indicative of close game, and stars will be stars. So I like Tatum to go over the 28.5, probably 30 points tonight, even with, Herb Jones guarding them. I don't think nobody can guard Tatum in the league. That's just me. So what I talk about. So those my three player props. Halliburton over 10.5, Wendell Carter Jr. over 16.5, Tatum over 28.5. Then I talked about the Mavs first half, my favorite spread. -5.5. I think they smack these boys up. Denver being extremely shorthanded tonight with no Jokic, no Jamal Murray, only having Bones Highland and KCP. Even if the Mavs come out sleepy, I think the defense will, have them winning this game by 6 points at halftime. That's my favorite spread. And then that Memphis first quarter, we about to get back on these team totals, baby. 30.5. Love that. I think Memphis scores, could get to 35 points. I'm not looking for OKC to magically start playing defense and protecting the rim. I think Ja could live at the rim. Could be a game where Steven Adams rebounds got to be in play too. We got to look at that Steven Adams rebounds as well. I'm not playing that. A lot of great plays given out in the chat today, man. The only other thing I'm looking at, probably making official, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The other thing I'm looking at is the Celtics team total over 117.5. And as Ben said, we got to take a hard look at that Wizards team total over 112.5. They could score 120 tonight against this version of the Miami Heat defense. So I like that look a lot, man. A lot of people came in here and gave out good looks though. Vaughn, I know you said something about that Phoenix and Utah first quarter over 55.5. I absolutely love that spot, especially now that Chris Paul's ruled out. He's the one that slows the offense up for Phoenix, right? Chris Paul likes to, walk the ball up the court, run some pick and roll, reset the offense, get back into the secondary offense and, take a shot with 5 seconds left. Campaign ain't on that. Campaign is like, bro, we pushing, we getting out, we getting one pass and take a shot and, we going to get to it. We know what Utah can do offensively. They're rested today. So I really like that over 55.5 too. I think Vaughn said he was on that. I really like that look a lot too. And Finesse gave out some great looks earlier too, man. That 13.5 for Ja, rebounds and assists. I really like that look a lot. The Brook Lopez over 1.5 threes with taking Joel Embiid out of the paint where he likes to be, where he's comfortable. I like those looks a lot, man. The Derek White points and assists, 10.5 points and assists. I'm not telling you guys to play all these, but I absolutely love these, and I don't do parlays. So, if y'all want to parlay, I'm totally fine with me. But I'm not parlaying anything. And then Jared Allen rebounds, especially against this Cleveland team. Especially against this Charlotte team, we just cashed on Miles Turner rebounds against this same, Charlotte Hornet team that's going to give up a ton of rebounds. And I think, like I said, Cleveland absolutely smacks these boys up tonight. I really love that 1.5. I don't want to put too many plays out, so I'm not going to play Cleveland -1.5 officially. But Jared Allen rebounds, because I do expect a lot of missings from the Charlotte Hornets tonight. And I expect Jared Allen to be the guy that's down there getting the rebound. So really love that look a lot as well, man. It's a lot of stuff to like tonight, man. A lot of stuff. I wish you guys the best. And I hope you guys cash all your tickets tonight. I'm not doing it. So I want to make sure I say this too. I'm not doing a show in the morning. So it won't be a Cash It with Chris show in the morning, but it will be an NBA ChrisBeCappinn show where, I kind of get you guys to, get everybody else's opinion as well. I'm not doing a morning show. I got some other stuff to do, but I am doing an evening show. So probably, I don't know what time yet, probably after 1 o'clock Eastern time, sometime like middle of the day, maybe 3, 4, I don't know what time yet. Might wait until right before, hour before game time. I think it's 4 games tomorrow. So 4 or 5 games tomorrow, probably a lot of stuff, injury manipulation like always too. But yeah, I love the looks tonight, man. I think a lot of people said a lot of great things. Best of luck on your action tonight, man. And I'm out, man. Did you say Phoenix team total? Hold on. Did you say Phoenix team total? No, I didn't say Phoenix team total. I said the Phoenix. This is for Glenny. I said the Phoenix in Utah first quarter over 55.5. I think that goes over 55.5 in the first quarter between Phoenix and Utah. Utah can score. Phoenix can score. I like that. I like for more than 56 points to be scored in the first quarter. That was Vaughn's look, and I didn't play that yet, but I do like that look a lot, Glenny. Didn't play it yet, like I said. Tony said 80 scoring prop, only 23.5. Books begging us to take the over. Careful on them Lakers. The reason why I'm not on it is because I feel like Bron is back, and I don't necessarily want to back him with Bron playing. I think Bron probably does play in this game. Or the Lakers could look at the game and say, you know what? Like Bron might not play. And if, Bron don't play, you got to take AD points if Bron don't play, especially against the Detroit team that has nobody that can guard AD. So I like it more if Bron doesn't play. But if Bron plays, I'm probably not going to be on AD. It seems like the offense doesn't run through him as much when LeBron's on the floor. I hope that makes sense to you guys. But if Bron don't play, I would be looking at AD, especially with Detroit being on the second night of a back-to-back. I think that, he could definitely go out there. The offense runs through him. I listen to the Patrick Beverley podcast. You listen to, the guys talk in the locker room, Lonnie Walker after the game. They talk about this being AD's team. They want to get him a touch. If not every time down the floor, every other time down the floor. So Detroit being on the second night of a back-to-back, they give up a bunch of points. They don't have anybody that can stop AD. So AD should be healthy. Might be a little bit rusty at first, but I think, that the break that the Lakers got, not playing since Sunday only helps AD kind of recover from that injury and get back to 100%. So I like AD player prop as well over the 23.5, especially if LeBron doesn't play. But I'm probably going to stay up for that game, but I might tweet something out. Later, man. I appreciate you guys for tapping in with me. It's 58 people still in here on YouTube, man. Hit the like button for me if you guys can. Tell somebody about the show. And like I said, best of luck. I'll see you guys tomorrow.